Howdy, howdy, y'all. Editor Fierce here. Just letting y'all know that this episode was recorded a little earlier due to time schedulings, and there was a hot fix patch in between the recording of this episode and the release of this episode, fixing a lot of the phishing bugs that will be talked about in this podcast. So, just wanted to give a forewarning and a heads up for people who might be confused. Now, on with the regularly scheduled podcast. Howdy, howdy, y'all. Welcome to the second issue of the Kilima Post with your host, K Fiercine.
And Shinori Yoru talking about Radiance Rising Patch as well as June 2025 roadmap. Okay, that was a
So,
bit rough.
you're good. So, how you doing today, Shinori?
I'm doing good. How are you, Kefires? Hopefully
Uh,
you're loving the new update so far.
I am. I've had a good morning myself. So, just trying to get up and functioning this morning. But
Oh, cool. Yeah, same here, same here.
yeah, I mean, the past couple of days we've had such good news coming out with the fact that we've had the patch as well as they gave us a roadmap looking forward. So feel like we got a lot of exciting things to talk about in today's episode.
Yeah, I think for me and you, I think we just literally were like, oh, new plushies, we're just gonna go get that. I haven't even started or even thought about even doing the Prism Beards treasure event that they have going on right now.
Well, I know, like, personally, I streamed a lot of the patch when it first came out, and so I didn't want to like just jump straight into the quest lines because I had a lot of people who had just loaded up the patch themselves, and I kind of wanted my viewers to like enjoy the quest on their own. So I'm actually waiting a couple of days before I actually do the quest to give my people a chance to do the quest first, so that I don't, spoil anything.
No, definitely, and especially with Module Market being enabled right now with the new Rainbow Dragon plushie that is in the market right now as well. You can get it in the mail if you check your mail, but if you want more, you can spend 5,000 envelopes in order to get one of those to complete your plot. If you want to make two or three or four dragons
No,
for that.
100%. Like, yeah, they gave us a dragon and a fish plushie in the mail. I think you had to be like level 3 fishing or something like that was like the minimum to get both of them. And then yeah, the dragon they had available at the Manji market, and then the fish you're able to actually fish up in any Kilima body of water. Now,
Right. And,
I wasn't able to fish it up in a pond, but I was fishing in the lagoon over by my robot man, and actually I caught one last night, and it was huge. I was so excited. Like I took a little screenshot, but I wish I was alive to catch it. It was huge.
yeah, definitely. And I did catch, I think it was five or six of them while I was fishing with my community, and we were just like cheering each other, encouraging. Once one person gets it, we were all getting the hype up, and we were just having fun, just getting every single one of them.
And it's so funny that they put in the new fishing plushie at the time that it seems like fishing's kind of broken right now with giving some crazy experience.
Right, and I think it's just for like certain fishes. It's not like every fish. I think I only encountered like three or four fishes that do give the crazy experience
Well,
for
and
that as well.
well, because I was doing some extensive fishing in the Elderwoods, because going to talk about the new event in just a moment. So I was basically doing fishing in the Elderwoods, trying to catch my legendary maw because I need one for my quest, or I need it for like the new set of bundles or whatever. And so I had been trying to catch my maw while waiting for the new Pitsky event, Blossom Bounce event to start. And I was noticing like some like one of like the big like jellyfish one was taking up my whole focus bar, and then like a rare like eel was giving me no experience whatsoever. So some was given like crazy amount, and then some was absolutely giving no experience.
Right, and I think the most experience is one of the fishes called the Polyan. Uh, wait, I think it's the. I'm not sure if it's a pixie. Was it?
Uh,
Um.
I know in my stream we had found the 10 fin if you didn't use any bait was
Yes.
given like crazy amount. It was given like 2,500. I'm like, that's crazy. But I actually was able to catch my maw. So I was actually like, oh look, here comes
Oh.
another shark fish. Let's look at how much experience this one gonna give. And then I was like, oh my god, that was a maw. I didn't even realize.
Huge congrats. Hopefully you got your relics done for that. For that mop.
Actually, I haven't made it yet because I was just too preoccupied with all the new things. Because I don't know, have you tried the new Pitsky Blossom Bounce that they put in?
I did. While we were just, I was literally just going around getting all the frog plushies that they released. I was like, oh, since we got all the plushies so far, why don't we just try out the new Pixie Bounce Blossom? And my community agreed. But however, if you have a huge community, unfortunately, you cannot fit all in one server. If we're just like going to sell the stuff and then coming back into a new server and then trying to have everyone get in, it was a huge problem when we weren't prepared to get everyone into one server. But how I played it, it was really good. It was something new, which I loved. But I didn't understand at the time what time it started. So now I know it starts at 10 p.m. in game. I didn't know what tree it was either, so we are just waiting around a tree. But it was fun shooting down the shields of the flowers that were around the whole tree area, and also just gliding around, just collecting them and watering the bouncy mushroom to in order to get to higher to get to the higher places where they are floating around. So it was a lot of fun, but it's
Right.
something really brand new, which I definitely enjoy.
Right. I think
If
I think it's kind of funny because it was like literally in the last episode, I was literally saying the Elderwoods is missing some sort of like daily, like in-game daily event, because I was just talking about, if you remember how we didn't have any sort of like flow grove event or anything that happened, and then literally, boom, the very next week they're like, oh, you asked for it, here you go.
and I was like, oh, I mean, Flow Grove was like a daily thing. I wonder how if they're gonna make it more fun. Or are they gonna make it like a reason why we should do this?
It's so
But it
crazy chaotic.
right, right,
Like I
because we
know, I know with because like I have a smaller group, so there's only like a couple of us running around, and I know like we literally like the moment it happened because we saw like the blue glowing from the top of the trees because at 9 p.m. it makes the same sound that the grove makes when it spawns. Like at 9 p.m. that sound will go through the elder woods, and then that's when that basically gives you like a 5 minute warning saying, hey, the event's getting ready to start. And I found it over by where the deep woods flight point is, or the teleporter point is. It's over there by those two trees. I had noticed it kept appearing every time I've done it's been by those two, so I don't know if it changes trees, but and it spawned like an end game hour later.
no, I haven't kept track because I only did it once. But if that's where it is, then that's where it is. Because with the waypoint, you just have to glide over to where near the waters. I think it's near where it is. I'm not sure if that's where it is for you, but
Well, mine was actually in between two trees, like up, but like the tree that the flight point was on, and then the tree right beside it. Like those two was like in between those two. So like I was like bouncing up the trees to get to like the super high ones. But as I said, I had a lot of fun, and then the fact that it's where you don't take other people's seeds either. From what I've learned, everybody gets their own. It's their own instance seed version, so to speak. So you're not
oh
taking
really?
farm from anybody. At least that's what my people was saying, because I was asking people, "Am I taking your seeds?" And everybody who was in my group was saying, "No, you're not taking mine. Mine are still there." So I'm like, okay, I'm just making sure I'm not taking,
Oh,
taking anything from anybody. So, But if you water the bounce, because like a lot, there are like some shrooms that appear on the ground, and if you water them, I believe that opens up for everybody. So if one
Right,
person waters it, everybody gets to bounce on the shrooms, and they do take quite
right,
a bit of watering. So it's good to have multiple people there trying to get them watered at the very beginning of the event. You
right.
know. But as far
Oh,
as I know, everybody gets their own like stuff to grab, but everybody's like hopping around together. It's just like crazy chaos, but it was so much fun. And the fact that it gives seeds, I feel like is such a unique way to reward. I definitely got me the mushroom seeds. I got me one of those. Those I took me a couple of tries to get one of those, but I was so happy I got the mushroom seed. That was the one I wanted the most.
yeah, I got one of the mushrooms. I also got the bushes, the new flowers that we can water. And and I thought, oh wait, what if we're colliding and also getting the same flowers? And no one was fighting over that. So I was like, I was really curious as to why that wasn't. And now they're confirming that it actually is like our own, like we see the flowers, but other groups see it like see it different places, or could be like in different like height. So it's great to know that we are getting our own and not like sharing, like, okay, we're going to fight over this, over the other people. And it'll be very much of a competition rather than like, oh, it's a fun event, a friendly event. Well, so I'm really glad they made it to where it's really catered to just us rather than other people. Like we're fighting against other people for this.
Right? It's a good group event and solo event. Like it's a weird because it's like a group event as the fact that you guys are all helping each other like open up all the bounce pads, and then you're all just like running around together in the same area, but you're getting your own individual rewards.
Yeah, no, definitely. Especially with the flow growth. What the problem with that is we usually have to wait and then cut all together, but there's sometimes people do cut the trees without waiting for anyone else. So it was a brand new event that I was really excited for, and I'm glad they made changes to that, and I'm glad everyone's benefiting from that as well.
And I'm glad it's given us bushes, and we finally actually have a bush to plant in the game.
Right? And I was like, oh my God. I was so excited to read that the trees don't even take up space on your other plots. I'm not sure about cooking, like the cooking tables are that we have, and also the arcades that do take up space in other plots. I'm not sure that they
But
fixed that as well. I'm
But
not
hey,
sure.
I'll take the tree, because I don't know if people who don't know, but on my stream I actually run a 300 growth chop party that I used to do weekly, and I'm trying to get back to the point of doing weekly, but let's be honest, watering 300 trees fully growing every week
It's
is
a
a
lot of
lot of
work.
time. It's a lot of work. But
Right.
uh but having 300 trees on one of my plots like literally hurt me on all of my other plots. So this change has been huge for me alone, and allows me to basically free up a lot of the space that was tied up just so I could, do this like grove event for the community. So I'm definitely very grateful for that tree change, and it's definitely a great thing that they've done.
Yeah, no, definitely, and we appreciate you for even doing flow grove or flow tree cutting, especially when you have to remember every hour you have to water them, and that's kind of a drag because I think it takes about like 8 hours in a day into order to get them to the full height. I could be wrong on this, but I do appreciate you for even taking the time, or even like keep on reminding yourself to, oh, I gotta water my flow trees in order to prepare for the event that's happening at this day. So we deeply appreciate you for that as well.
Well, I mean, to me, it's like doing a cooking party. It's like I enjoy having those big events and having group events like that, and so that's why I can't wait for Singularity 6 to put in more stuff like that to do down the road. I just like having group events with friends. I like hanging out with my friends and we all doing things together and making money and getting skills.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly the same way, especially with cooking party, right? You gotta plan it like days in advance, and also you gotta prepare the ingredients, what you're gonna get, and who's what and what role. I think the thing that you could just wing it is I would say bug catching. So far, you just get a bunch of honey lures for one person, and then just plan like what day and what time, and then everyone just comes and everyone just put the bug bombs, and we just all throw and just run around and are just having fun, just getting all the plushies that we are getting currently
Right.
as
Well,
well.
and and that's also the fact that we now have gold nodes in Bahari makes it so much easier to make bug lures to plan bug events now. Because I was noticing on your stream, like you were having some crazy like frog catching event with the new frog plushies that came out.
Yeah, no, definitely. And we gotten, geez, how much? We got like about 20 20 plushies and just about 4 or 5 hours, which was insane because getting Okapu and Shmuel plushies takes a lot longer because they are everywhere and but they're not in like one particular spot. You got to go searching high and low and where they are because you just constantly they keep popping out and then we're just all shooting at it, and then we have to wait for when it for to respawn for that particular area. So it's but for frogs, it's a lot more different because they do spawn frequently, and you'll get a lot of them. You'll get a lot of them,
Yeah, I
which
know.
I'm really glad about that.
I know we dropped like 6 lures and didn't get a single plushie, but we tried, we did our try, and then we were like, "Oh, the event's going on. Let's go over to the Pitsky event. Let's go get the new flowers." We were very ADD yesterday. We were trying to do a bit of everything.
No, I'm glad. I'm glad, and also with Maju Market, I'm not sure if you've experienced where you're not able to fish in the waters, only the nodes. So
Uh
I'm hoping they do fix that.
I will be
So
honest, I spent my nighttime at the Elderwoods doing the Pitsky event, so I hadn't actually made it over to the Maji Market myself, but I'm definitely going to have to swing by and check it out because because that's the thing with these patches. There'll be some great bug fixes, some great things will happen, and then something major will break. And I feel like it's always related with my fishing. I know for the longest time, we didn't even have sounds in the fishing nodes.
oh, I didn't know that. Okay, interesting.
Or
Okay.
at least that was how it was for Switch for a while. It was like earlier this year, as like I went like 3 months where all of like the actual like starred pools had no sounds and you just had to do it by sight alone. And I'm very visual. I'm very like sound oriented when I play this game. That's why I like the fact that there are so many audio cues because I wear glasses and I don't see very well, so I miss a lot of things. So I'm very much so on audio cues in this game, and that's one thing that I really like the fact that they include is a lot of audio clues to a lot of things to allow more accessibility for somebody like me.
No, definitely. Especially when we are a streamer. We're trying to look everywhere. But the main thing that we are looking for is the sound. Especially when we are trying to focus on a lot of things. But really the sound is what makes it worthwhile for us to be like, oh, this is happening. Okay, we gotta do this now. Right. It's I love the sound, but I do know the problem that you're having with the sound as well, that it's not queuing up and we don't know when it's going to be appearing. So it kind of stinks when it
But
doesn't happen. I
well,
deeply relate with that.
but that, as I said, that was like previous. That's now have been fixed. That was like earlier this year, but I was just saying, I always just seem there's always something wrong with fishing because now that that's fixed, now we got fit. The fishing is broken over everywhere. So that was just making a joke of how one thing works and another thing breaks. So
No,
I was
definitely,
I was just
100%.
trying to be a little funny, but but anyway, but
Okay, okay.
anyway. So and they also added new storage though, which is a great for me, and I am happy for 4,000 more storage.
I'm not too happy with that because as a longtime player, you're always struggling to even get to fit everything in your storage. So even with 4,000, I was kind of very underwhelmed. I was like, maybe they could get like at least 30,000 or even 50,000 for that, but unfortunately, we only got 4,000. So I'm hoping either with the new even like newer storage with maybe like silver or gold or even like a platinum chest maybe down the future. They could increase the storage limit amount on that, but 4,000 for me was very 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 low, especially when you're trying to fit everything into the storage.
No, I definitely I've seen a lot of my hoarding friends in this game. I see how they hoard things so much, so I understand like everybody's always max. I typically sit at about 5,000 anyways. I'm pretty good about not hoarding and just selling things because I just that's just the way I play. But as you mentioned, that's just Palium storage that they have. So with that will come a lot more storage down the road. I feel, as you said, they could do gold, silver, then platinum if they wanted to, And that would still give us like three more levels of storage if they wanted to. One thing I hope they give us more, though, is more lockbox storage. I find my lockbox getting filled up way more than my regular storage because there's so many things that I want to sell or that I don't want to use in a recipe or I don't want to get rid of, so I keep it in my lockbox so it doesn't accidentally get used.
Especially the lockbox because I've been 300 is not enough. I'm not sure why they chose it because I know for certain they can increase it, but I'm not even sure why they're not. Because even with our regular storage, our lock storage is just as important because we get always get filled up and we want our both the storage to have at least I would say the same amount. I would say if this has 10,000, why not the lock storage as well, right? It infuriates me because we want to fit so much stuff in our storage, but we just don't have enough room. We really
Right.
don't.
Right. Well, and like a good thing, but also something that leads to that storage problem is they did actually release though their first free pet in the game that gives everybody the courier ability to send four items home when you're out in the world. So, they finally gave everybody their first free to play pet in the game.
Which I'm really excited for, especially if you're just a free to play player that just wants to play the game and not spend too much money. This is the time for you to do your quests and also get that pet in order for you to get the courier, where you can get the four items back to your storage. But unfortunately, with me, and if you have a full storage, that will not work, unfortunately. So it will just say, "No, your storage is full. You can't do that." So it kind of sucks.
That's what I was saying. It was kind of like they're both like hand in hand, where it's like it's a great thing that they put this ability in, but I don't have any room in my storage to put anything to send home. So it's kind of
It is great for newer players, though, right? If you have like a brand new starting out and you don't have a full storage, then it'll be great for you. But as a veteran and you played the game a lot, unfortunately, it does nothing for us. But I do appreciate the sentiment, though.
right. So I'm definitely excited to get mine done because I haven't actually bought the founders pack yet. So all my friends have already been sending stuff home, and I haven't had the ability to do that yet. So I'm definitely going to be getting on my quest probably sometime this weekend to get it done myself. And just on the note of quests, though, they put in so many new quests in the game. Like, not only did they, as we know, put in the Prism Beard quest, which I haven't done yet, but as I said, I'm waiting for, this weekend to probably sometime start it. But they also have so many like new discovery quests that you can just discover, just like small little things. And I'm like, they put in a lot of like little things into this patch. So
Yeah, no, definitely. Especially, what I noticed about the Prison Beards quest is that the outfit was released a year prior. So I was asking around, being like, So like they released this outfit, the Prison Beards, but well, how come they never released with it? So what I got the what people have been telling me is that they were planning for this event. However, they just pushed it back a lot because they believe that it wasn't the right timing. But even then, the outfit they could still release. So I was really hoping like, oh, maybe they will give us like maybe like a gold outfit, maybe or something like that. But I don't know. They could do a lot of things with this event. I'm not sure if this is like the entirety of it. I'm pretty sure they might push it like to increase the event on where is it going, but I have no idea. This is something that was brand new as well because what they said in the patch shows was they're going to be releasing new quests at every update, but I'm not sure how that's going to go, but we'll see, right? I do feel the excitement and where the story is going, but we'll see where that's going with how things are going to be with that as well.
Right, yeah, they did mention that they were, like, looking forward to releasing, quests at every patch, and I'm like, "That's a tall order doing monthly, like, patches like this." I'm like, "How
Right.
many quests of the story do they already have pre-planned?" You know? That's what really makes me wonder, 'cause I'm afraid, like, 'cause I feel like that's a tall order myself, and I wouldn't
Right.
be comfortable making that sort of a statement, so I feel like they got a lot of quests like pre-made ready to launch, or they've got it all written out ready to go or something, but they apparently have a good plan going. So hats off to them. I'm down to do monthly quests. That's something I've always wanted to hear more of, is the story. It's like, for instance, Prison Beard. We have the two secret quests, and one in Kilima and one in Bahari, dealing with Prison Beard, but that's it. And I know we've wanted to know more about him anyway, so I'm glad that it has came out and we now get that, and I'm looking forward to a lot of the new quests that they release.
Right, no, especially when you're so used to them, just like, okay, this patch, we're just getting furniture. Next patch, oh, we just got gemstones. Next patch, we're just getting more plushies. And I'm like, okay, I mean, it's something, I guess, but it's not really like story progression or like getting news, like wanting to know more about what's happening. No, we're just getting the little things, which is fine, I guess, but it doesn't really satisfy us on wanting to play the game more. But I do appreciate us on getting like new furniture, new landscape, new outfits that they're getting releasing. But it's I'm excited like for the first time ever, right? They're promising, they're saying something. I hopefully they stay true to their promise on getting something that's brand new to the game, and I believe Elderwood has a lot to offer on where they're going right now because there's still a lot of things we don't know much about Elderwoods, so I'm pretty sure we'll get more progression on that. I'm really happy on where it's going right now.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, they said that they've still got a lot of the Elderwood quests that they still plan to release anyways, and as far as I know, like, a little more area to the Elderwood. So I'm super excited for all of that, and as somebody who likes to dabble in decorating, I'm glad that they're still regularly releasing new decorations. Like, I'm glad we finally got hedges this patch. Like, I can finally make the maze of my dreams to make people run around in.
Right. And I'm not sure if you've seen like the drawings of the new of like the new housing that they're planning to release soon, where we'll have like upstairs windows that we can customize. Maybe even have like another second floor for the harvest house. I'm not like even maybe even the rooms. I'm not sure, right? But I'm do love to see where their designs are coming from with that as well, and I'm just excited for the decoration of those as well. I've been hearing so many great things of what people are planning to do, and also where we can have like so many customizable things about our harvest house. Like you'll see in every plot that people will have a grand harvest house and like a harvest house, etc., etc. Now it's getting to the point where oh, you'll have something that I won't have on my plot, which is I'm really excited to see because I don't want to see the same houses on every plot. I want to see something different, right?
No,
And that's the differentiality that we're planning to have as well.
absolutely. When they said like the new, I think they called it the new housing lines, the ability to customize housing, I feel like is something that has very been lacking. Yeah, you can customize the outside wallpaper and the rooftops, but that was like it. And I know I've done a lot of like building off of houses just to make more customization, and I know I've done a lot of building videos on YouTube showing a lot of things I've built just to give more customization. So it's good to see that they're putting it in. It's they're working on it. Still a ways out, because they just showed us artwork of it. But I really like the artwork they were showing of us, and I'm really looking forward to being able to customize my house. And I feel like I'm just excited about that as you brought up. So
Yeah, and I'm just wondering, like, did they hire their staff back, or like, where are they getting this extra people in order to do all this, right? Because we're just overwhelmed by everything that's happening. I'm just like, wait, what's happening? And they even announced like a new area that they're planning on working on, and I'm like, are we gonna get Bahari City sooner or later? Because I
I
have no idea.
I definitely don't think it's Bahari City. Like, well, at least I hope not. Like, I know, like, I'm very when I want Bahari City to be a much later release when we've got like tons of characters. I want a cast of like 100 characters before Bahari City comes out. That way, when we see these people, like we see these people. Like,
Right.
I would love to like for them to like make it. I want Bahari City to be like because you've dabbled in World of Warcraft, right?
Right, I have a bit, yes. Yep.
Okay, like for me, like when I think going from like these little towns that they have in the World of Warcraft to like these big massive capital cities. And so like when I think of going into Bahari City, like I think it's like going into like either Orgrimmar or Stormwind of World of Warcraft, where it's just like this giant
Ooh.
massive city that's like the whole. I want the whole city to be big enough to be a zone. Like when they release Bahari City, I want it to be like a zone. And I just
Right,
want it to
right.
be so massively huge. I want it to be the largest city. So I mean, obviously that's big scale, and so that's why I'm cool with waiting for that. I don't know if you had watched Percival on YouTube, but I know he had mentioned the planes because that's one that has been mentioned in the lore.
Right,
And
right, right,
I
right.
was watching his roadmap video, and he had mentioned that one, and I was just like, the plains would be a good place to go. But also, I've been looking at the backgrounds for a lot of the landscapes we're getting, and if you ever go to like the autumn landscape, I want that area. I don't know if that area is what people imagine the plains to be, but I want that zone. Like it's just so gorgeous, so pretty. That, or I want to be able to go up to the top of the ice mountain. I want a snowy area. I would
Right,
love a snow zone. But.
right. I mean, like, there's the air temple as well, right? We only got that for like one particular area, but what if we had an actual zone for that? I know it made a lot of people upset, especially finding all the eggs, all the treasures, and just figuring out where to go. But what if you had an actual zone that you could actually just freely just explore and just like fly with your glider as well? I think it'd be a really great zone, right?
Oh yeah,
Because
like I would definitely like a more mountainous, like gale winds, like mountainous area where you can just like fly to like. I think that would, or at least that's the way I'm seeing it. But continue.
yeah, no, definitely. Especially with there's so much new ideas that could really bring up. It's just really beautiful. Especially when we were expecting snow for all these years. We're like, oh, when we're gonna get an actual snow of Kilima? Nope, we only got a few patches of snow. That's all you're getting. Sorry. And then we're
Well,
like, bruh.
well, but that's the thing about Kilima. I like the fact that Kilima goes through like a I guess a more northern hemisphere 4 season rotation. I do like that, but I definitely want a snowy area because we do have the snowy landscape, and
Right.
it's always and I always see that one mountain that's got a huge chunk in it. If you look in the background of Bahari, there's that mountain, and it's in a lot of like the landscapes, and it's just this giant mountain that's got a huge chunk in it, and there's a bunch of snow up there, and I'm just that area is like the area I'm most curious about exploring in Palia. I've only ever seen it from a distance. I want to know why that mountain has a chunk
Right.
out of it, and I want to explore it. So that I'm patiently waiting for that area.
Oh, I would love to see that area, especially when we're not remotely even close to seeing that area in like where our the areas that we can even travel to, like Elderwoods, not like that. Bahari, kind of like that, but not really. And then Kilima, definitely not like that.
But
So I'm excited. I'm really excited to see that as well.
right, but then circling back into the new zone, they did added a whole bunch of new stuff for the Elderwoods for people to spend their infected essences on. Because I know some of y'all were from all the frog hunting y'all have been doing the past month. You probably
Right,
have
right.
infected essences like all piled up.
Right, especially with the new nameplate, the new nameplate on that, and I'm excited for that. Especially, even though we did gather a lot, but for players that haven't participated with that, I'm excited to even get that amount. I believe you need 80,000 around there, around 79, 80,000 of essence in order to get those. So it's a lot more grinding, but I do appreciate them to being like, yeah, you need a lot of essence in order to get these. And I was like, and at first I was like, do you need a lot of essence in order to get into the temples that they might be releasing or these areas that they're planning to do, right? So I was really glad about that.
Well,
I'm
well,
like,
I know you did a lot of the frog event that had went on for the last couple of weeks. So, while you were doing all that, like if you don't mind me asking, like how much essences did you have saved up from all of that? Because
I would say, I would say about like 280,000.
because I know you
It
guys
was
was like,
ridiculous.
so I love it, like and that's the one thing I do like about Singularity 6 is they're able to poke a bit of humor. Because, like, I will say, I don't know if they were planning on releasing frog plushies when they did, but I felt like
Right?
they went to patch the rock hopper and made everybody like sick of frog hunting for them to be like, oh, hey, now here's your frog plushies, do it all over again. Like, I was literally reading the patch notes, and all went through my head was Shinori is triggered, Shinori is triggered.
Because with the trailer, they showed us literally the spot that we were doing the frogs. Not only that, but they put the frog plushes in front of it and being like, "Oh, here's all the dead frogs you see behind it, but here's the frog plushies though." You'll see them. I'm just like, bruh.
Like,
Uh,
that's one of those moments where you got to be like, I'm glad they can laugh at the situation and just make the best out
right.
of it.
I was not triggered, but I'm pretty sure I was like, yeah, they're gaslighting us, guys. After all we done with the frogs, so here you go.
Right. Well, and then they also gave us ducks though, because they gave us those like 3 spa day ducks. And I know, like, I have
Ah,
been wanting the ability to make more rubber duckies, and now they've gave
right.
us the ability to make unlimited rubber duckies. So, I'm okay. I'm okay with all the stuff that they've added. So,
The thing is that with the patch notes, they said, "Oh, these floatable duckies," and we're like literally putting in water. Yeah, they don't float, guys. They don't float. And I was kind of triggered about that. And I'm like, what if I want to put in my tub and then raise the water just for them to like literally float there? But the problem is that they don't have like water in us for to be able to have them float. Like I know many people are using the Capital Chic the tables and
yep.
then using that as water, but there's no actual thing that actually gives us water, and then having the ducks float on there as well. So I'm a bit disappointed, but but if you ever do get the ducks, it does turn up to be a red koi fish plushie, which is not, but it is something to say that, oh, you have gotten the duck in order to unlock to get to craft more
Yeah.
of that
Yeah,
as well.
that's what happened to me because I was fishing and I had fished up the duck on my screen and it had said that I had gotten the duck. And but
Oh,
my loot icon had said a red koi fish and everybody around me saw me get a red koi fish plushie. So, hey, but at
right.
least you're still able to get the duck. So if you see somebody fish up a koi plushie and not a pond, chances are it was not a koi plushie. I actually saw somebody when I had fished up my big fish plushie fish up one of those red koi plushies, and I'm like, we're in the lake over here. You shouldn't be getting that. So
No, especially when it's especially when it's like you're not even expecting it, and like you're just randomly fishing, and then you just randomly get it. I'm like, oh, and then I was like, keep places. No, apparently you're supposed to right click it and use it. I was like, oh, I thought we get our own little like big duck. No, no,
right.
that's just to trigger the recipe.
Mm, right. Well, at least, and then like they've given out so many plushies this month because you also get a really cool Free Realms chatty plush if you're, watching everybody on Twitch, It's one of the Twitch drop it's their 6-hour Twitch drop, so
Right,
they're
and
giving out that new plushie that's now also available in the Zeki ball machines. Does kind of remind me of Zeki though, so I
it
definitely think the
does.
plushie's cute. And not only that though, they actually have like a whole cute like bunch of honey bunches furniture set that's coming out with the Twitch drops this month on Twitch. So, you know.
Right. And there's a few things that they didn't really announce. So, like with the new plushie, with the chatty plushie, I thought it was like, oh, it's gonna be Zeki, and then I'm getting a lot of backlash, being like, no, it's a squirrel, and I'm like, is it? I have no idea. I'm like, it kind of looks like Zeki, but I don't know. I could be wrong, but okay, they're saying it's a squirrel, and I'm like, okay. And then they're releasing like, oh, this free realm plushie. I'm like, I don't know what it is. And so I'm like, yay. But another thing that didn't announce, which I'm really surprised, is that I was opening a lot of Zeki balls yesterday, and apparently you can get the large honeybee plush, not just the regular me and my honeybee plush, but you can get also the big one that you can also place on your plot. So I'm glad that's not exclusive anymore. So you can actually place it there as well
Oh my
on your
god,
plot,
that is awesome.
right? So those who have missed it, go open your Zeki balls. You can also get the big honey bunch furnitures as well, and also the big honeybee plush as well.
Yeah, like I actually did not know that they added all those into it. Okay, but then that makes me wonder though. Okay, so now the amount of plushies that you can get through the Zeki Lucky Ball, like there's a lot of stuff. Like, should we be expecting like a Zeki Lucky Ball version 2 before too long? And like maybe like we'll have like a different machine where you can get like where you can get like different plushies because I feel like now it's like you can get a wide variety of things.
I mean, it's gotten to the point where, especially with playing Hotbot and getting like the extra large plushies, but also getting the pirate decor, and then by chance you'll get the worn mouse plushie from that as well. I mean, they could still add in things into those if they really want to make like something new. But I'm not sure if they will ever be like, yeah, we'll get a lucky coin 2 2.0 and on that. So I have no idea, but they could.
Well,
But
because I was
yeah,
just sitting there thinking about it, and I'm sitting there going, if they added all these new plushies in there with everything else, I mean, like that. I mean, I know it's like a lottery thing anyway, so it's always going to be random of what you get. But how big is too big for a lottery pool? You know what I mean? Like, I definitely agree. Like, we definitely need some new hot pot rewards added. I know I haven't played Hot Pot in forever just because there haven't been any Hot Pot rewards. I think that'd be a great place to add some new plushies maybe or some new items. But yeah, I was just curious on what you thought was how wide of a variety is too much for a Zeki Lucky Ball, you know?
right. And but I'm like, they could have added the large honeybee into the extra large the plushie bag, and just to make it like okay, if you play and get the lucky bag, you'll get the big honeybee plush. But also they could have what they could have done also is that with the pirate decor, they could have added like the prism beard furniture as well with that. So they could have done that, and they could have added like a bunch of other things with the ingredient bags with the new elderwood as well. So it's like things like that.
Right. Well, but it is what it is, you know. As I said, I'm not complaining. It was just more of a statement where it was just like after you had said that it crossed my mind. I'm like, yeah, because they added the new Free Realms one, they added the large Honey Bunches one, and, who knows what else they added. I do like the fact, though, the fact that they did add a new plushie to the Maji Market so that we're able to spend a little more at the Maji Market, so.
And I've been just waiting for a long time in order for them to add things into that magic market, because it like just going back and just doing balloon pop in, papa choppa, and then also chopper chase. It was like it was getting a bit stale. Like you have to agree with that, right? You're just getting a
Oh.
lot of these like tickets, but you have no reason to spend it on anything other than
I
like
I
right,
legit could almost make a whole episode alone talking about the Maji Market. Because, like, I've got so many ideas for the Maji Market going through my head. I was just saying the fact
right,
that it was nice that they at least added, they added one of the new vendor items be able to be vendored there, you know? I think that's where
right.
if you're able to buy a Maji plush, the only place you're going to be able to buy the Maji plush is going to be the Maji Market. That's where they're going to be going, you know?
No, especially when they can do so much with the Maji market. Like I don't know, like they could have fixed the chopper chase. They could have made it better, but also you are getting the error of being like not being able to fish there, but with the nodes you can, but outside of that you cannot. So I wish they could fix a lot of things. Like I think like every patch, when every Magic Market happens, something's broken at any one
Right.
point.
I mean,
There you go.
it is what it is, you know. For me though, if I was gonna add anything to the Maji market, it would probably be like in between games. Like I love Choppa Chase. Do not get me wrong. Choppa Chase is like my favorite thing about the Maji market. But
Right,
I wouldn't mind like them having like a place where you could do like ring toss or you'd throw like the sandbag or whatever. Or,
right,
like put in a few like carnival games that you can like casually do during the whole market. And if you spend gold on tokens to then use those tokens to get Maji tickets depending on how well you do at these games. I think that would
right.
be a fun way to add a bit more to the Maji market. But
I mean, like with even with like you still you they really could because especially with like bug catching being a thing, why not just like do that with like a metal ball and then you could just throw it you gotta knock these pins down
oh my
in
god,
one
yes.
shot, right?
Yeah, because they had the knock the milk bottles down off like the platform with the throwing mechanic. Oh my god,
Right,
yes, we could totally do something like that because we could throw snowballs. They've already,
right,
changed it to snowballs, so why not?
right. And then
I
I'm
mean,
like, there's so many things.
but they're always making changes. I mean, as since you do play on PC, I do actually have a question for you.
Sure, go ahead.
how do you like where they move the notifications of items you got on the screen?
I mean, like I thought, okay, they're gonna be blocking off where your party members, where so usually in that area you'll see like where who's in your party, but I'm like, well, you're not gonna be seeing that all the time, so I didn't really mind it that much. So I thought it was a nice improvement
Because I
because
heard
before, where you had the items being shown, you're actually blocking off some key things that you might be using at the time. Like I'll say like for cooking or either seeing your friends list or even like where you're crafting, it does sometimes get blocked off as well back then. So it was a nice change. It was definitely a nice change
Yeah, because
where
I
that's
know it
being
was
wrapped
like that on.
now.
It's been like that on the Switch, so obviously nothing changed for me because they did it to where it would be more consistent between PC and console. And I know one person had mentioned they had thought it was so ugly and they hated it. So I was just curious what you had thought about it. I like the new animation and like the new backgrounds or whatever that came with it, where they all now have like nice, colorful backgrounds.
Yeah, no, I mean definitely, but before it was just like a yellow background, but now it actually tells you what rarity it is, which is really nice because we're like, is this an epic? Is this a rare? Is this a legendary? We had no idea, but we know it's a rare item. That's it. So it was really nice. It was really nice.
Right, right. So, but yeah, so as I said, they've added quite a bit into this patch. Oh no, and then they did like a ton of bug fixes. Like I was going through my patch notes and I got to the point that I typically read through a lot of the bug fixes on video, and it was just like so long this time. I was like, they really they were here to fix some bugs. So I will say this is probably one of the biggest bug fix patches that they've ever done.
Right. And especially when like I was reading through all of that as well, and I was like, did that happen? Did I encounter this? Did I encounter that? And I would say like 80% of that I did not encounter. But I'm really glad that people are really pointing this out to us, being like, yeah, you gotta fix this, you gotta fix that. Even though it's very minor, it does matter a bit. Because even then, like what I'm really countering right now is basically the grammar and also the dialogue that I'm just reading. There are a bit of problems with how things are being worded, or they're like minor things that are not supposed to be there. Like there was one thing that they forgot a space, and so it was like combined with another word, and I'm like, you forgot a space there, guys. So it's like
Right.
minor things like that, but it is the little things that do matter with the changes and the fixes with the game, and I do appreciate that as well, right?
Right, little things indeed. Like especially with the new little pet they put in, the plume puppy is like the cutest pet they have ever put in this game. Like, I mean, I'm not here to go talk about a lot of what they added into like the store, but I saw the plume hound puppy and I'm just like, that thing is the cutest thing.
Right, and I do love the pets. However, please, Essex, if you can, do not have the pet as a hitbox. Because what will happen is that if we're just going hunting or bug catching, if people have their pet out, they're gonna eat our bombs. They're gonna take the hit and not have the bugs being hit for that very reason.
I'm
So
only hitting
please.
I'm only hitting the queen bee at a lure because I feel like it's a bug at the lure. Oh my god, the amount of times like I tried to shoot my friends like cuz like I'd go choppa hunting like when the choppa plushies came out and everybody had the cat with the cat familiar with the orange hat for Halloween. I can't tell you how many times an arrow went into that cat thinking it was an orange choppa.
Right? And I'm just like, wait, did it hit? No, it hit my party's pet. I'm like,
and then I'm over
Aw.
here doing bug lures, and next thing I know, I'm throwing a bug lure at somebody's pet bee, thinking it's like a like some sort. I like bees don't even spawn at lures, but I see a
Right,
bug
right.
and I instantly go red, and those smoke bombs just start going. You know.
I'm always laughing at myself, but I'm also feeling really bad for people that will hit the pet instead of actually hitting what you're supposed to be hitting, and it's just it's like, well, we have our very fancy pet that we want to show off, but we can't enjoy that while we're hunting or going bug catching because it's like the good and evil of having pets. Like I wish someday that we could actually get an evolution of another pet. Like, oh, if you take care of your pet, it will actually grow up to be a different like size pet that it will grow into. Which I hope it does. But for now, please
I
get
mean,
rid of that hitbox for
I
now.
mean, they did say coming soon, animal husbandry, where we're going to be able to have pets on our plot that we'll be able to take care of and love and have some sort of like friendship with and hopefully get increased benefits from. So, they did actually formally announce it, and we got to see different
Right.
colored peckies, and we know we're going to be able to breed peckies to get different traits, and we're going to be able to raise an Ormu for the state fair.
Right, but also the fact that I was really really confused when I really saw that because on the little section, I'm not sure if you've seen it, but it did show like bronze, gold, silver, but it's not just that, but it's like some are like really weird different colors, and I was like, I'm not sure how this is all gonna be.
For instance, when you play a lot of Stardew Valley, they do a big thing on like raising your animals to get better quality supplies from them. Like for instance, if you take better care of your peckies and you become better friends with them, they're gonna give you, starred pecky eggs. You know, and I know this is going to sound like a completely niche reference, but in uh Thousand Year Door of Paper Mario, the game that came out on the GameCube. You had the ability, or I think it was in that one. It could have been in the original, but I'm pretty sure it's Thousand Year Door. But you could buy all these different piggies, and you could have different colored piggies, and there were like these strange colored piggies and like polka dot ones, and they were that was like my favorite thing was getting like these odd colored pigs, and like I'd have like a whole little farm of like odd colored pigs. So the fact that they had all these different colors of peckies, I'm like, I want all of them. I want. I'm gonna have so many peckies. It's not even gonna be funny. Like I'm sitting here have to think about how I'm going to like I don't want to decorate my plot anymore because like I was doing this like whole revamp decorating thing, and now I'm like now I feel like I've got to wait till I can put in a barn.
Right, right. Or they could do like I'm not sure if you played Sonic Adventures back in the day
Oh my god, the Chow
where
Garden.
the Kale Garden, yes. So
Yes.
basically we'll be raising our pet and then like feeding it and then they'll gain some stats and then we can also play like mini games with them. I wonder if they would do that something like that, which I'm really hoping they would. Because eventually I want to be like, yeah, we raised our Pecky, but I also want to see it go and play mini games with it, and then we'll have like maybe a bit of a little game called Mario Kart in there as
Oh my
well,
god, Pecky
and
Racing.
kick Pecky racing,
No,
or maybe we could do like some like basically fighting each other in our Peckies. I don't know. It'll be possible. Yeah.
I'll say this. They did mention about raising an Ormu for the state fair. I would love okay because they had the
I was
Maji
wondering
market.
that.
They had the Maji market
Oh,
that happens at night. What if like they
right.
had like a daytime event that happened like once every like quarter or whatever, and it was like a state fair, where we'd
I
go
would
in and have
love
like a daytime
that so
fair.
much.
And then like the Ormu or the Peckies you raise got to be, maybe be like in the competition or whatever, or something. Obviously there would
Oh,
be some sort of storyline for it for your Ormu. But and they could
Right,
have tons of like little fair daytime fair games because everything happens at night in this game. The underground happens at night. Maji
right,
Market happens at night. The
yeah,
Grove
right,
happens. Now the
right.
Pixie Bloom. Like all the events are nighttime events. I want daytime events.
Oh,
I'm a
I
daytime
do too.
person.
Yeah. Because the one thing I'm really curious is like, okay, you know the Roblox game Dress to Impress, right?
I've seen it, yes.
What if we did that with the Ormus? Like, we can dress them up, we can design it the way we want it, and then like it'll be up for like a competition and be like, okay, this Ormu looks really good, and then we can all vote on it, being like, okay, which one do we actually like the best, and right, and then
Okay.
we have multiple rounds of being like dressing up our Ormu, or we can even do that to our character, being like, yeah, we could like do this and be like, it'll be amazing, like we can all rate it and it's a friendly competition. We're not nothing serious about this,
Like
right?
I don't even care about a competition now that you've mentioned it. Now once I get an Ormu onto my home plot, I want to be able to put a big pink bow on my Ormu. Give me the
Yes,
ability to accessorize my Ormu.
I would love that.
I would oh my god, yes. And then if you win the state fair, you get like a big blue ribbon that you can put on like the collar of your Ormu so they can
Ah,
proudly walk around with their big, state fair ribbon.
yeah, big bow, yeah.
Oh my god,
I
that'd be
would
so
love
much
it.
fun.
It would be
Well,
amazing. And
and
there's
who
just no,
well,
go on, go.
I was gonna say, and who knows, that could be like with the seasonal themed patches that they did said that they're gonna do because they loved the fact that they did like a winter event and that the fact that they have the lunar market and they did say starting in the fall they're gonna do season themed patches. So who knows, we could have like a spring and a fall like state fair type of thing.
Oh, I would love that. And maybe just maybe, we could do a cook off for that as well. And then we could have people I don't know, they could be like eating at our tables and we could have like or just have maybe we could sell stuff that could like something that we create. I don't know, like it's just there's just a lot of ideas. Like, oh, if we make something that's customized and then like have it at a state fair and like sell it to like people that are buying, like there could be a lot of ideas, right? And we could just name it the dish what we want it to be and be like, oh, this is K Fear's most extravagant um like
All
I don't know, like
all I'm seeing is that short order cook game done in a paleo group
right,
setting. Oh my god.
right.
Oh my god, I don't know if you've ever played like those type of cooking games like with your friends where you gotta like people come in and make the orders and they
Right,
order it and you gotta make the orders real quick. Like
right,
that get
right, right.
like I have seen people and they get highly competitive, like
Yeah, right.
not
But
saying like that would be a lot of fun.
it's still a lot of fun. Even though it's a bit competitive, it's a friendly competition. It's nothing serious, but we do get a bit competitive when it comes to it, right? So I do love it.
Like that's the one thing. Like I definitely want a bit more competitiveness in the world of Palia. Definitely. Like
Mm-mm.
I know they definitely are keeping their nice chill vibes. But like I definitely, like me on Choppa Chase, like I'm there to get number one. And a lot of times I'll get top three and I'm on the Switch and I'm like on the old Switch playing around. But like that's like one of the few things like I'm like super like I'm like in Choppa Chase because there is a leaderboard from a server and I am in it to win it. I've got my
Right,
path and I'm like being angry with somebody stealing my invisible choppa that's apparently in front of me.
right, right.
Like two of us are standing there and all of a sudden somebody's running away with the choppa and I'm like, I didn't see that one there and I've been spamming this A button.
Right. And then it's all lovely, and I want to be like a bit competitive, right? Right. Even though it's like friendly competitive, it's still amazing. And there's so many categories they can go this on. like with housing. They can with like with food. They can go with like our like we said earlier, Ormus. Like it's just a lot of things they could just add in and be like, just to make the game more a bit competitive. But also you can do that with your friends, with people we don't even know, and we're just making friends
Like
along the way, right?
I've got so many ideas for, like, in fact, like we're gonna have a whole episode of this podcast dedicated to all the different group based idea stuff I have in this game that I just want to talk about, because like there's so many of these things like I've wanted to make YouTube videos on, but I just never had the outlet
Right,
to make a YouTube video on it. And
right.
we definitely gotta get more into that at some point for sure. But
Oh yeah, and they introduced co-op housing as well.
oh yeah, they
How do you
did
think
say,
that's gonna be?
okay, like I have no idea. Okay, so when I was first hearing about Palea was in super early alpha, okay? So
Right,
and like it was to the point that I couldn't even try it yet. I was looking into this game. And what I had heard in early on, and I guess I was made to believe or I misread, but it was like the idea of like you were gonna get a house, you were gonna have your housing plot, but it was basically gonna be in a neighborhood with other housing plots, and you could actually like you there, and then you'd actually have neighbors on like different sides of you.
hmm,
And then like and so like that would made me wonder if there was like a shared like community center, but
right,
going into a shared housing plot, I definitely think it'll probably end up being community based. We don't have a lot
right,
for communities right now, so the ability to decorate like a clubhouse or like a community town hall or something like that, I think would be a fun thing to decorate if like that's the way
right.
they would go about it, and being able to share it with everybody within your community. That way,
Mm,
you know. Now, and that's the thing. Like everybody's talked about doing something like that, and it's just been something that I bet it would be a nightmare to program. You know, what if somebody donates, 50 chairs, and then all of a sudden leaves? Do they get their chairs back, and those chairs
right,
disappear?
right,
And so a lot of that goes into question is, if you donate something to this plot, does it permanently stay at this house and you're no longer allowed to withdraw it if you're the one that donated it, and then what happens if you got 999 of everything,
right.
obviously that's extremes, but I see enough people play this game, so nothing's off the table with what I think people would do. But
Right.
so it
And
honestly just makes me wonder how it would all work.
right, right. And especially when we have our community, like we can create our own community, which has I think maximum 30 people that you can fit into it. But I was wondering, like, is the co-op going to be catered to that? Because especially when we have a community, we have a community chat, but we don't actually have a place where we could hang out. I know we can go into each other's plots, but it's not really something that we can call like something as our own, right? So I think in that case we could have a little like area where we can just call a place that we can call our own as like our 11th or even 12th plot, that we can just say, okay, this is our community. We can build and do anything with it, but also with the fact that we can also request in our community, like have like a bulletin board, like on what we want things to be done, which could be an interesting idea where people could be like requesting stuff to be like, oh, we need like 20 leather, for example, and be like, okay, we can do that. But also, we can also have suggestions or
Oh.
ideas of where we want to go with our plot.
So
And
like no, like that actually brings up a very valid point. Like I like the idea of being able to like only things you can donate crafted materials to this public plot, so to speak, and then anybody's able to craft with said materials that's been donated or something of
Hmm.
that nature, and then anything crafted on that plot would only be usable on that plot, you know?
Ah, okay, okay. No, that makes sense. Yeah.
No, like I mean, like after you were talking, like that's what came to mind, and I was like, that would actually kind of work, you know. But yeah, so as but they're still very early on that one. That's something where they had put in the down the road part on the road map, so it's definitely not a coming soon like some of the other
Right.
things. But it's definitely we're working on it. We want to do it. We're just trying, and I like the fact that they were just flat out like, look, we're not sure how we're going to program this, but we are figuring it out. We are working on it,
Right.
and as soon as we get it figured out, we're gonna put it in there. And that's a big thing. I'll say this real quick. I like about the fact that they finally have released a roadmap. They let us know what things
Right.
they've been working on. They let us know where they're going and what type of things we can look forward to. We don't need to know the details of the next adventure zone. Just say, hey, we're working on a new area, give us a little, hey, this is what we got going on. I like it because so much of last year was us in the dark with these little patches going, well, what are we waiting for?
Right. Right. And like Bahari City does come up a lot, especially with the characters, because they've given us an idea of what's in Bahari City, but we're just imagining it in our minds, being
Well,
like, "Oh, yeah, I could definitely see that happening,"
well, I
but
mean,
we have no idea,
that's
right?
how it works. Like I live out here in the country in real life, and like everybody out here talks about going down to the city. It's when you live out in the
Right,
middle of nowhere, you talk
right,
about going to the city. That's what all country people talk about. And Kilima being a little country town, they're going to talk about their events at the big city and where they go to make their riches. It's always, the star-studded dream of going to the big city and making it big and getting rich. But
no, definitely 100%. Especially with like they keep hyping it up and being like, "When am I actually ever gonna go to this place?" Right? I have it in my mind, but
you know,
will I ever go and see it? Is
well,
the
it's like
question.
Cassian talks about, I believe, where he was born on the plains, and he talks about the plains, and I think the plains would be a great place to do hunting and a great place to put in a lot of new, creatures and places to run and some exciting things. So I know, and
Right.
plus it's like they've got so many other places that they could explore. So, as I said, and that's just one of the things where it's just like down the road where they were just like, yeah, we're working on these, just letting you know. And that was the big thing, was what I was just glad that we were able to get, was a roadmap to look forward to.
Right. And who knows, we might actually see where plumhounds first originated, and we might see maybe a family of plumhounds. You never know. Right? We'll see like Tal's family if he does have one, but it might be great that he will have one, but who knows, right?
Right. But at any rate, so I've had such a great time talking about this new patch with you and all of the new stuff that they've added today. Um but
Especially yeah.
I'm gonna have to get out here myself and do some actual real life paleo and work on my real life garden, because not everything I do is in a video game.
Of course, of course.
But thank you so much for hanging out with me today and chit chatting about the patch and all the cool things that they added. And don't forget to follow here on Spotify if you're not. That really helps us out, and it lets you know when new episodes that are released here on Spotify. So I guess till the next episode, we'll see you all later. Bye.
Bye.